Hello everyone, today we are going to writing proof with the triangle congruency criteria for the triangles. We have the 5 triangle congruency criterion. We have side, 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 angle, 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 side, and HL. Which two doesn't work? Right, triple A doesn't work. Right, triple A doesn't work. One more. Right, S doesn't work. Triple A and S don't work. Okay, so we're gonna use this to writing proof. And as I said, that writing proof is getting information, getting evidence to prove what they ask you to prove. Okay, first, very important, label the picture from the given information first. O is the midpoint of MP and NQ. So O, midpoint. What's midpoint mean? Do you remember when we talk about midpoint? Midpoint means it's a point bisecting the line segment. Okay, bisect means cut in half. So in this case, MP is being cut in half by the midpoint. So we have MO as congruent with OP. And they have it right here, MOOM congruent with OP. And also NQ right here. So these two line segments are also congruent. The first one we just copy. You see, O is the midpoint of MP and NQ. It's exact the same of the given information. So what you need to Y is giving information. Next one, OM is congruent with OP and ON is congruent with OQ. These two are congruent, these two are congruent from the word midpoint. A midpoint divides a segment into two equal lengths. You can write it a little bit short, say a midpoint divides a segment into two equal segments. You can use your own word to explain the reasons. Okay, next one, angle MON. If you can find, okay, this one's a side, this one's also a side. We have side and side. We need one more thing, angle MON, which is right here, congruent with angle POQ, right here. Why those two angles are congruent? Okay, do you see they are across to each other? What's that angle called? And they're congruent. Okay, that is vertical angles are congruent. Okay, you can write this one, vertical angles have equal measures. Or you can say vertical angles are congruent. You see, different ways to express the same meaning. Last, we get to the proof. And many people over here just write proof, which is wrong. You cannot write proof here. Okay, I know it's a given and then proof, which is wrong. You need to see what evidence you have been collect and what triangle congruency criterion that you use. So we're going to label this one's A, the angle. So which triangle congruency criterion? Side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and HL. So once again, it cannot be HL because there's no right angle and there's two sides, so cannot be angle, angle, side, cannot be angle, side, angle. So can that be side, 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 but there's one angle involved, which is the vertical angle. So the last one, it seems like side, angle, side. Let's see. Can that be side, angle, side? Right, the angle is in between the two sides. Right, that's one way. Or you can just look at the picture. The angle is right between the two sides. So it's side, angle, side for the last reason. Okay, now let's do number 2. Once again, first we need to label the picture. I already labeled it for you. Let's check if my labeling is correct. BD bisect angle ABC. So means cutting the angle in half. So you see that I'm labeling these two angles are congruent. And BD is perpendicular, which is 90 degrees. right angle. So this angle is 90 degrees. So now we have two angles, angle and angle. And I also label it for you. BD is congruent with BD because they are sharing the two triangle are sharing the same side. So last thing we have to prove triangle ADB. Triangle ADB is congruent with triangle CDB. You see how they widen the proof? They must be corresponding to each, right? A is corresponding to C, D is corresponding to D, B is corresponding to B. So triangle ADB is congruent with triangle CDB. So step by step widening. The first one, we just copy the top. That is a giving information. By the giving information, bisect means cut in half. So the two angles are congruent. Angle ABD is congruent with angle CBD. Okay, this is one way that, as example, a bisector divides an angle into two congruent parts. Or you can just say that BD is the angle bisector which cut the angle into two equal halves. There are many different ways to write the reason. As long as you have the same meaning, you're good to go. Okay, next one. And then we're going to use the next information. Okay, we finished the first one already, and now we're going to use the second one. BD is perpendicular, which is 90 degrees to AC. And what's the reason? It's up there, giving. Okay, next one, perpendicular. That means 90 degrees. So we have to say those two angles are congruent first. Okay, so angle ADB is congruent with angle CDB is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, you can just write what I said, or you can just say, oh, those two angles are both right angles. What's the word that says they are 90 degree? Right, perpendicular. So you can say perpendicular lines create 90-degree angles or create right angles. Or you can just say that perpendicular lines makes 90-degree angles. Okay, next one. The two angles are 90 degrees, so the two angles are congruent. Okay, so just saying that angle ADB is congruent with angle CDB. And the reason is all right angles are congruent, or you can say both of the angles are equal to 90 degrees, or both of the angles is right angles. Or you can say all right angles are congruent, or all 90-degree angles are congruent. Many different ways to say one meaning. Okay, next one. We said that BD equal to BD, and that is a side. BD is congruent with BD. What's the reason? Okay, they are, yourself is equal to yourself. One of the axiom property, reflexive properties. Okay, yourself is equal to yourself. That's reflexive property. And the last one, we finished the proof. Okay, the two triangles are congruent. Okay, which triangle congruency criteria? And now let's train ourselves to look at the picture. Angle, side, and angle. That's it. Angle, side, angle theorem. Okay. People say that y log HL. We don't know if the hypotenuse are congruent. We know the leg is congruent, but we don't know the hypotenuse. So we cannot use HL. Okay. People say that can that be angle, angle, side? Well, the angle is kind of far if you read this way. Angle, there's ooh, 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 laughing, right? So the closer one will be angle, side, angle. Okay? Okay. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful day.